Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day. Before we begin the video, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. She might want to back it up just a little bit here. General Hospital spoilers suggest Kristina's hypocrisy might be going just a little too far. Keep reading below for everything you need to know. During the most recent episode of General Hospital, Kristina couldn't help but open up to Cody about Ava. She even said, what happened to Kiki was tragic. But instead of using that as a turning point, Ava is still out there scheming and ruining people's lives. But a lot of people have pointed out, does Kristina not have any self-awareness? As if losing a child has stopped Kristina from scheming to murder Ava, right? That, and she's also currently trying to lot with Cody to manipulate her too. As our loyal readers can imagine, the internet certainly did have a lot to say about the matter. Some have even commented with, Kristina is a Casadine and a Corinthos. Consequences for their actions don't exist to them. The writers are doing the character justice. Kristina has never been self-aware and has been coddled. She made her sister wanting a baby through surrogacy about her to the point where she convinced herself to steal the baby, lose her sister's and TJ's baby, as if he had no claim to the baby at all, and cry victim. Another critic of the show wrote, every time Kristina spouts her BS, I'm like, how long will this madness go on? And then Alexis enabling her constantly, they both need to go to prison. And I'm no Ava fan, I'd like to see her in prison as well. And then there was this comment as well, Kristina is emulating her dad more by the day when it comes to Ava. Kiki dying was tragic, and Kristina wants to use it as a way to shame Ava for not being a better person. Yet here we have Kristina justifying her actions because she hates Ava for an incident that she and Sunny both know who really caused. Kristina Corinthos Davis has always marched to the beat of her own drum, often standing up for what she believes is right, even when it puts her at odds with the people she loves. But lately on General Hospital, fans are noticing a troubling pattern that's threatening to tarnish the image she's worked so hard to build. Kristina's hypocrisy is going too far, and it's causing tension not just within her own circle, but across Port Charles. What started as passion is quickly turning into something toxic, and even her most loyal supporters are starting to wonder, has Kristina lost touch with reality? Has she become the very thing she claims to despise? For months, viewers watched as Kristina grew more self-righteous, particularly around issues of family, loyalty, and motherhood. While her heart may have initially been in the right place, her words and actions have taken on a sharpness that feels less like empowerment and more like condescension. Whether it's how she's treating Molly, judging others' parenting choices, or her refusal to see her own privilege as a Corinthos, Kristina's double standards are beginning to unravel the goodwill she once inspired. It all seemed to boil over when she inserted herself into the surrogacy drama involving Molly and TJ. Initially, it was touching to see Kristina offer to carry their child, a selfless act that showcased her emotional growth. But that goodwill was quickly overshadowed by her inability to separate her own feelings from the needs of the couple she claimed to be helping. Kristina began acting as if the baby was hers, not biologically, but spiritually, as if she had final say over how the child should be raised, what values should be instilled, and even who should be part of the child's life. Fans watched in disbelief as Kristina criticized Molly for being too rigid, too disconnected too. Well, Molly. But what Kristina failed to acknowledge is that she was imposing her own views in the exact same way she accused her sister of doing. There's a real irony here. Kristina claims to support choice and empowerment, but she only seems to support it when people make the same choices she would. That's not empowerment, that's ego. And Molly, who's far from perfect herself, has finally begun to push back. It's not just about Molly and TJ though. Kristina's judgmental behavior has extended to others in Port Charles too. She had the nerve to call out Nina for her deception surrounding Willow's parentage, while conveniently forgetting that she's benefited from the Corinthos family's own web of lies for decades. She criticizes others for holding grudges or keeping secrets, yet she turns a blind eye when it's her father Sonny doing the damage. In fact, Kristina's entire relationship with Sonny is drenched in selective morality. She praises him for his strength and generosity, but ignores the fact that he's orchestrated mob hits, terrorized people, and destroyed lives. When it's her father, the violence is justified. When it's anyone else, it's unforgivable. That's the kind of cognitive dissonance that viewers are struggling with. Kristina wants to be seen as morally evolved, a woman of principles and progressive ideals. But she only applies those standards when they suit her personal narrative. Her support for LGBTQ+ rights, women's rights, and anti-violence movements feels hollow when she's simultaneously excusing her father's crimes or tearing down her sister for being too cautious. It doesn't stop there. Kristina has also made it her mission to be the unofficial moral compass of Port Charles. She's been weighing in on everyone else's issues, from Carly's business decisions to Jocelyn's romantic life, with the same patronizing tone. And it's beginning to wear thin. People are tired of being lectured by someone who refuses to acknowledge her own flaws. Remember when Kristina got involved with the Dawn of Day cult? She nearly destroyed her family with that decision. And while she eventually escaped and worked hard to rebuild her life, she never fully addressed the harm she caused. That might have been a great foundation for some humility and self-awareness, but instead, Kristina seems to have overcorrected, positioning herself as someone who has all the answers. There's also tension brewing with Alexis, who's trying to rebuild fractured relationships with her daughters after years of turmoil. While Sam and Molly have tried to find cautious ground with their mother, Kristina still sees herself as the emotional authority. She often talks down to Alexis under the guise of honesty, but it comes off as bitterness disguised as wisdom. And it begs the question, why is Kristina holding others to impossible standards when she refuses to confront her own unresolved trauma? In a recent scene, she lashed out at Alexis for making past parenting mistakes, conveniently forgetting that Alexis stood by her through the cult fallout, through her coming-out journey, and through every volatile romantic detour she's taken. Yes, Alexis was flawed, but so is Kristina, and the inability to offer grace is a clear sign that her growth may have stalled. Viewers aren't blind to what's happening. Social media is buzzing with fan reactions, many of which are critical of Kristina's attitude. Some say she's becoming insufferable, others are calling for her to be humbled, and a growing faction wants to see her face real consequences. Could that come in the form of a major storyline twist, perhaps something that forces Kristina to look in the mirror and confront her hypocrisy head-on? Rumors suggest she may soon face a dilemma involving Sonny's next big power move. If she continues to defend him while preaching nonviolence, her contradictions will be laid bare. And if she challenges him, that could spark the kind of dramatic fallout that shakes the entire Corinthos family to its core. Either way, a reckoning seems inevitable. That reckoning could also come from Blaze, Kristina's current love interest, who's beginning to see that dating a Corinthos Davis woman isn't always easy. Their relationship has been one of the brightest spots in Kristina's recent arc, offering warmth and emotional vulnerability. But if Kristina continues to act like a moral tyrant, it could push Blaze away. Especially if Blaze begins to see that Kristina's values shift depending on who's in the room. No one wants to be with someone who can't admit when they're wrong. Even Tracy Quartermain, who's no stranger to manipulation, recently made a biting comment about Kristina needing to check herself. That's saying something. If even Tracy sees the double standards, it might be time for Kristina to take a step back. So what's next? Could a new personal crisis force Kristina to reevaluate everything? Could a falling out with Blaze or a betrayal by Sonny break the illusion she's built around herself? Maybe she'll make a mistake so big she can't justify it away. And maybe that will finally bring her back down to earth. What Kristina needs most right now is a reality check and a genuine journey of self-reflection. Not a lecture, not a plot twist that humiliates her, but a grounded emotional reckoning where she realizes that being right isn't the same as being kind or fair or even effective. She needs to rediscover the humility she had after escaping the cult. That version of Kristina was broken, yes, but she was open, willing to listen, and not obsessed with being the smartest or most moral person in the room. Kristina Corinthos Davis is a fascinating character with layers of complexity. Her passion and loyalty have always been her strongest traits, but when those traits turn into arrogance and judgment, she becomes someone harder to root for. If General Hospital wants to preserve what makes her special, they need to let her stumble, let her fall, and then give her a meaningful way to rise again. Fans still care. They still want to see Kristina thrive. But they want it to be authentic, not just lip service disguised as growth. Let her face real consequences. Let her be called out not by her enemies, but by the people who love her most. Let her learn that being righteous isn't the same as being right. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is admit you don't have all the answers. Until then, her hypocrisy will continue to alienate those around her, and the path to redemption will only get steeper. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our YouTube channel for more update news.